Welcome back to this edition of Frontline.
This would be a smart moment perhaps for him to make a tag, or at least stop Samuels from making one. Here comes Frazier.
Frazier in, takes out Morales, great move by Frazier, gets to go one-on-one with Redmond now. Uppercut, goes for the... Here we go, that Uranagi slam, picks up, double underhook, flips him over in a suplex. Darren Burridge thinks it's over, but... I went for the cover, but...
Shoulders weren't down, Dave.
Yeah, referee Chris Roberts wanted that.
Good referee.
To be a fully legitimate pin before he was going to start counting. You're right, that is good officiating.
Look at those pectorals, though, from Joel Redmond, able to absorb the chop. That's from eating a diet of bales of hay, you know, Dave.
Oh, did you see that? That's an innovative offense from the cartel. Frazier Hurricane Rana-ing his own partner on top of Joel Redmond.
3 bales of hay he eats a day, Joel Redmond. Quite incredible.
He eats hay. I've always thought he was a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic. I didn't know he put hay in his sandwiches.
What a source of roughage it is.
Speaking of sources of roughage, Samuel's getting very much roughed up.
Absolutely.
By Morales. There's a senton splash. Redmond's up high.
Watch Redmond
the end
now.
could be near.
This man's got everything. Agility, strength, ruthlessness, submission skills, technical ability. And Gilligan Gordon, the mastermind in his corner. He's got brains. He is a cyborg, a wrestling cyborg, Joel Redmond. I cannot possibly overemphasize how much I'm impressed by this man.
Morales is... It looks like a chokehold he's got applied to...
Oh, we saw this on the last show.
Oh, Redmond, I think, was going to go for a dive, I don't know, but Frazier caught him out. Oh, Frazier, Gilligan Gordon dropped the top rope and Frazier to the outside.
The captain of Gilligan's Island, Gilligan Gordon.
No, yo, Redmond.
Oh, no.
Morales tried to hold Redmond in place. Sorry, tried to hold Samuels in place. Redmond went for the dive, and Samuels has clearly learned from his mistakes. Referee has a count out on.
And did you see Burridge throw Sharp Samuels back into the ring?
Who's the legal man?
Beat the count.
Who is the legal man? I think it's Redmond. Even Gordon's not sure. It's a count. We're up to 9.
Gilligan, abandon ship. Get him back in the
10.
ring.
Yes,
no.
10. It's a count-out win for the cartel.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match is a result of a count-out. The cartel.
Well, Samuels learned from his mistake, moved out of the way, wins the match by count-out, and you know what that means, Greg Lambert. It means Darren Burridge, far from having to spend any time with Redmond and Morales, gets 5 minutes in the ring, oh my, with gentleman Gilligan Gordon.
Now on to a tag team contest of a different kind. The first round of the FWA Tag Team Title Tournament between the leaders of the New School and Project Ego was always going to be an interesting encounter. What it turned into was a British Wrestling Tag Team Masterclass with an interesting finishing twist to boot.
Raucous crowd here in Sport Nottingham as this quarter-final match gets underway. Zack Sabre Jr. in the blue trunks, starting things out for the leaders of the New School. That's Chris Travis in the orange for Project Ego, and it's a kind of battle of North versus South here as well. As Greg, as you say, it's Project Ego, very popular in the north of England. The leaders making their name in the southeast. This is a real clash of two tribes, if you like. A preview of later on, perhaps.
You'd have thought retro pop was out here, the amount of 80s references we're getting out of your mouth already. Relax, Dave, relax.
Big night, I'm on edge. The drop toe hold from Sabre. Gonna roll through and grab the head, I think. Travis is trying to scramble his way through. Sabre so talented on the mat. Trained, of course, as we've said many times, at NWA UK Hanlock under the tutelage of the late, great Andre Baker.
We mentioned before that these are two of the most popular, fan favourite teams in the FWA. Dave, who do you think is going to get the lion's share of the cheers here this evening? Because I don't really care about such things.
I mean, it's interesting, we were saying it's a North versus South battle, and we're better placed for this to happen than in the Midlands, kind of halfway between the two. I mean,
Well, just to correct you on your geography, actually, Dave, to humiliate you even more than someone wearing what you're wearing this evening. Chris Travis is actually from Sheffield, which is only a few miles up the M1 here in Nottingham, so this is pretty much a hometown match, I would say, for Chris Travis. But having said that, the leaders of the new school, particularly with their Leaders TV show on YouTube, which I've been keeping a close eye on, they're gaining a real following. They're very, very popular young men.
Yeah, you'll forgive me if my geography anywhere north of Watford isn't quite as good as it is in London, but there we are.
That's right, Marty Skirl. I mentioned Leaders TV. You can pay me later.
Travis now taking advantage. He's got that wrist lock applied to Sabre Jr. We're saying these are two of the most successful teams in British wrestling. Indeed, they are. In fact, the Leaders, I guess you would call the poster boys, if you like, of the resurgence of tag team wrestling in this country for a while. Well, hang on, I think Travis with a schoolboy only gets 2. But the Leaders, for all the hype surrounding them, actually have had a fairly mixed start to their career here in the FWA. Sabre's going for that patented cross arm breaker. I think they're in the ropes.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if momentum counts for anything in tag team wrestling, then you would say that Project Ego would be the favourites, because Project Ego are coming off 2 huge wins here in the FWA. They beat Retropop last time out at Battle Lines. Prior to that, they defeated Styx and Malin.
And Project Ego certainly on the final run of form as we enter here. I still say that the Leaders are among the favourites for this entire tournament, but it really is make or break here. A win will no doubt put them right back on course, really give them a boost in confidence. Obviously defeat would see them eliminated at the first possible stage.
I'm looking for both these two teams to really step it up this evening. This is, like you say, this is a huge night for British wrestling. What's going to be going on in the main event later on tonight. So it's very important, with the tag team titles on the line, that in the very first match of the tournament, just like in the first match of the World Cup, which is going on in South Africa at the moment, Dave, you always want to see the teams come out and make a statement early doors and really stamp their authority on the tournament.
Very much what they're going to have to do. It's immediately into the knockout stages in this tag title tournament. There's no second chances here. Skirl tries to follow Kirby. Kirby with the back elbow off the middle turnbuckle. Really hit Skirl hard in the jaw, but Skirl still kicks out. Inverted atomic drop from Skirl, the man from Cambridge. Tagging Sabre Jr. back in. And this is where the Leaders are so strong. In these 5 seconds or so they have, where they can legally double team after the tag.
What's that?
These innovative double team moves. Innovative but very punishing moves. Skirl trying to opportunistically arch his back for a pin, but of course Skirl no longer the legal man. Good call there from referee Chris Roberts.
I don't care much for the clapping like a demented seal, but that was very innovative. This is what I mean about stepping up. They're going to try and show moves that that Project Ego may never have seen before.
Don't all seals clap? Why did it be demented?
That was a demented seal.
All right, whatever. Now what's interesting here, both these teams, as we say, have their supporters. We're expecting this to be, for the most part, I guess, a competitive but reasonably friendly, if that's the word, contest. But you've got to think at some point that there's a lot of potential for sparks to fly here. The Leaders obviously very hard hitting, like to hit opponents with very stiff strikes, and of course you've got Project Ego, who have been known to bend the rules. So this one could disintegrate into something other than a wrestling match if we're not careful.
Absolutely, and just to continue the football analogy slightly, although in terms of the tournament, it is important how you start. In terms of the match, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And both these two teams have very effective finishing moves. The Ego Trip, in the case of the Project Ego, double team moves at that as well, and the See You Later. Those moves have earned both these teams a huge amount of wins.
This is the first time ever these two teams have competed against each other. Interesting to see how they are able to deal with new opponents.
I would expect really that we might see a bit of competitive nature sort of creep into this match. A little bit more viciousness and aggressiveness I'm looking for. I mean, like you say, Zack Sabre Jr. and Marty Skirl are the poster boys I guess, of the tag team division here in British wrestling, here in the FWA.
This is the Resistance, and we need your help.